So, dear students, today we are going to learn a new topic from semester 2 English, that is a treatise on good manners and good breeding written by Jonathan Swift. A treatise, it means it's an essay. In this analytical essay, Jonathan Swift gives the difference between the good manners and good breeding. He explained it in detail in this essay. So let us know about the author before going into the details of the text. So Swift, he was born in 1667 in Dublin, in Ireland, and he was an Anglo. He was born to an Anglo-Irish parents. He was a satirist, essayist, political pamphleteer, and cleric. So pamphleteer, a person who writes pamphlets, and a cleric is a clergyman or a priest in a church. Is called cleric. So his famous novels are Gulliver Travels, A Tale of Tub, The Battle of the Books, and Gulliver Travels. It was published in 1726, and it was made into movie also. So it was a he attained international recognition with this Gulliver Travels, and he was regarded as the greatest satirist in English language. He was a famous satirist, and he published pamphlets, Bickerstaff pamphlets in 1708, and A Tale of Tub. It is a religious essay, and he took a middle position between the Anglican and Lutheran churches. And the Battle of the Books. It is about it's a satirical exploration of the conflict between a modern and ancient language. It's a battle between books in King's Library. So in this complex and analytical essay, Swift implies humor and wit, and he writes in a playful and humorous style, describing good manners and good breeding. And Swift defines good manners is the art of making those people easy with whom we converse. So when we talk to others in our conversation, who makes others comfortable or easy is person, a well-mannered person, is the best-mannered person. And the person who causes the least discomfort to others is considered the best-mannered in any gathering. So the person who causes less discomfort, who makes others easy, who makes others comfortable in their conversation, is called best. Is the best-mannered person. And he says that our behavior should suit three degrees of men: our superiors, our equals, and our juniors. So we should our behavior should match these three kinds of men: superiors, equals, and juniors. And he has also given an example of breach of good manners. So that is forcing superiors or equals to eat or drink. We should not compel our friends or our boss or our superiors to eat or drink with us. No, we should not force or compel them to accept our hospitality. So it is a kind of a breach of good manners. So, and also the three great sources he has mentioned, sources of ill manners. What are they? Pride, ill nature, and lack of sense. These three are causes of ill manners. The person who has pride, ill nature, and lack of sense is called a poor mannered person. Jonathan Swift talks about foundation of good manners. So he says that how the best law is based on reason. In the same way, the best manners also based on a reason. And he says that good sense is the firm foundation of good manners. The person who has good sense automatically learns and practice good manners. So, and he also says that good sense is a gift that is bestowed upon a few people. So that is why there are so many ill-mannered people in the society, because good sense is only uh, it's a gift. The people only, the few people only have that good sense. And he also talked about rules for common behavior. Why there are rules for common behavior in the society? In civilized nations, fixed some they have fixed some rules for common behavior, which suits their customs, culture, and place. So what happens if there are no rules? Foolish people often fight about women in play, or they fight when they are drunk. So that's why the government or society laid some rules for common behavior. So what happens? What happens to the forms of common behavior over the time? So they become endless ceremonies. So he Swift talks about the endless ceremonies and ceremonial behavior in this essay, and he narrates some ridiculous and foolish accidents or incidents of over-civility which he has observed in his lifetime. So Jonathan narrated some humor incidents which he observed. Uh, an honest gentleman was kept for 4 days at a friend's house against his will. So a gentleman who was forced to stay for 4 days against his will in his friend's house, though he didn't like, the gentleman didn't like to stay there, but he was forced to stay. So it was a kind of over civility. And he also gives another incident, an incident where a duchess was knocked down by a person. So duchess, when she was entering into a room, and that a coxcomb tried to open the door. So she was knocked down by that coxcomb, and she fell on the floor. It was a humorous incident. And another humorous incident: a dish of sauce stained the great lady at a birthday party. So a distinguished lady, when she turned her elbow, and the person who sat beside her touched her elbow, and the sauce, a dish of sauce, fell on her uh, brocade or on her headdress. So it was also a humorous incident, a ridiculous incident due to the over civility of the people and the ceremonial behavior. And he also gives another, narrates another story in which a Dutch envoy and his 13-year-old son came to the party at a court, and there they wanted to prove their good manners, and in the process of proving their good manners, they broke two plates of china into 20. So these four instances are uh, example for ceremonial behavior. Swift points out flaws in human nature. Pedantry is a significant flaw. Pedantry is a quality of being too interested in formal rules and minute details that are unimportant. So some people give importance to rules, and also they focus on minute details which are not at all important. It is also a defect or flaw he finds out, uh, the Swift finds out in our human nature. And he also talks about royal courts and good manners. There is a strong belief that royal court is the best place to practice good manners. So people believe that the persons who work in the court are well educated, so that's why they are good mannered. So he says that good manners are not a plant of the court growth. So generally, people think that the people who work in the court acquire or practice good manners, but here Swift proves that good manners is not based on the place, and good manners are not a plant of the court growth. And he recalls this. Swift recalls an incident, a story narrated by Lord Bolingbroke. So, in which a prince met a queen in a improper dress, which was not in a ceremonial form, and he was criticized by prince was criticized by courtmen, and this reflects ill manners in the court. Manners and good breeding. So in this essay, Swift clearly makes the distinction between good manners and good breeding. So there is a difference between good manners and good breeding, according to Swift. So it is the good manners is the art of remembering and applying certain settled forms of general behavior. So it is applying some forms of general behavior. It is good manners. It is called good manners. So good manners need some reason, so without any other assistance, so it doesn't need any other assistance. But whereas a good breeding can be attained by study and labor in addition to understanding, it needs a very wide range of knowledge. So he makes a distinction between good manners and good breeding, that good manners is learned by understanding, and it is applying certain settled forms of general behavior, On the other hand, good breeding can only be attained by study and labor. So it needs hard work and study to learn a good breeding. So good breeding is an upbringing of children. So it depends on a family. It can be learned with understanding, but here good breeding needs a wide range of knowledge. So that is the difference between good manners and good breeding. So he says that good breeding is of much higher range than the good manners. Swift says that ignorance of forms cannot be regarded as ill manners because forms are subject to change. So forms frequently change; they always change. They are based; they depend on custom, culture, and place. So we should not give importance to the forms. And the superficial young men, now who came from abroad, who returned from abroad, they brought new forms and fashions with them, and they tried to introduce and propagate those new forms into the society in their native land. And he also says that the worst bad person, according to him, is a young traveler who just returned from abroad. So let us see a glossary. Treatise, essay, a breach of manners, that which is considered rude, superficial, those only concerned about their appearance, bred, raised, or brought up. So there are some questions, and with this we finish our lesson.